All right, there we go. Now we're recording. Okay, so let's do one more. There's 4 altogether. I don't think we'll have time to get all the 2 of them done, but we'll do one today. There it is. And what we're going to do is we're going to first learn about an angle bisector. We've probably learned about that before, but we're going to talk about that just briefly right here. All right, so if you have an angle bisector, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. All right, why does this keep popping up? Maybe I got to do that. That's why. There we go. It's still same section. It's just a second part of it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an angle. So I'm going to start here, go to here, and go. Oops, why didn't it do it? Oh, I know why. Let's try one more time. There should be a thing that says, there it goes. No, that's the measure of an angle. I should. No. Where's the thing that I do an angle with? Polygon, regular polygon. I thought I could just do segments, just do a segment. Let's try one more time. So if I go to there, to there. See, why isn't it going? Oh, there we go. All right, now I got it. Whoops. All right, so that's an angle. Would you agree? All right, and I'll tell you what, let's find what the measure of that angle is. And we can change the angle. There it is right there. What is it? 58.2 degrees. But let's make it something easy. If I can get, there we go. 60 degrees. Everybody with me on that? So if I'm going to do an angle bisector, what's an angle bisector? What's it do? Bisects the angle, which means what? It's going to divide this, what? In half, by 2, right. Okay, so it's going to be 30 degrees, exactly. Everybody with me on that? So if I bisect the angle, if it starts off at 60 degrees, it's going to be a 30-degree angle. So let's do this. I got a little tool here. It says angle bisector, so I click on that. And I think if I just click on this and click on this, boom. Now, I don't know why it gives me this, oops. I don't know why it gives me this perpendicular line. I'm just going to get rid of it. There's got to be a reason why it does that, but there we go. And what I'm going to do as well is this. Let's just put a point on here. All right, and now let's get rid of this whole entire line because I just don't need that whole thing. Now let's do a segment and just go from here to here. All right, so that is that's bisecting that angle. How do I know for a fact that it bisected it? Well, I'm kind of sure it does because I hit the angle bisector thing, all right? But how could I find if it actually bisected it? Well, I'm going to go to this, measure the angle. So I'm going to click on this, and voila, what is it? Whoops. It's hard to see, but there it is. Look at that. It's 30 degrees. Check this out. What if I move it around? What if I make that like 80 degrees? Let's try to get it right at 80. And there we go. Look what it did. It made that angle bisector what? 40 degrees. All right? So that's all I wanted you to see. Well, it's not all I wanted you to see, but let's do one more thing. All right? So I'm going to drop this down. This is a bisector. So look, I'm trying to move it above and below, but it's not doing it because it made it a bisector. Okay? It made it specifically split this angle in half. So I can only move it out like this and out like that, but it didn't really change the angle, did it? But here's what's kind of interesting about point D. What if I did this? What if I went from point D perpendicular to this side of my original angle? So let's do that. Let's just hit perpendicular line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from here and I'm going to go perpendicular to this. Boom, there it is. All right? See how it made that right angle right there? Then I'm going to do the same thing, go from this point. I'm going to go perpendicular to this line. See what it did? It's perpendicular. Now, I got to mess around with it a little bit. So let's just put a point there. Let's put a point right there. Let's get rid of those big old lines. Oops, wrong thing. Let's get rid of the big old lines. Let's find out where this was. See, it's highlighted, so I just unclick it. And then I click on this one, then I unclick it. There we go. And now, watch what's going to happen. I'm going to draw a line segment from D to E, and I'm going to draw a line segment from D to F. And tell me what your gut instinct is about those two lines that I just drew, those two line segments. It looks like they're equal to each other, doesn't it? Now, on this program, you've seen it already. How do you think I know if they're equal to each other or not? I can measure it. See right there? It says measure the distance or length. Whoops. I got to hit it first, then I click this. It's 4.3. If I click on this one, guess what? It's also what? 4.3. What's really cool about it is this. If I move this around, look, I can move it up here. Whoops. See what it's doing? What's true about that distance? It's exactly the same, okay? When is it the same? It's just when I put a point where? On the angle bisector. Good. All right? So if I have a point, any point on the angle bisector, if I drew a line perpendicular to here and perpendicular to here, guess what's going to be true about those two lengths? They're going to be equal to each other. So anywhere, tell you what, let's stretch this out. Let's keep it 80 though, if I can. There we go. All right, so watch. Anywhere I put this, what happens to those two line segments right there? They're exactly the same. All right, put it here, they're the same, here they're the same, it doesn't matter. Any point on that angle bisector, listen to the phrase here. Any point on that angle bisector right here, let me get next to the screen. Any point on this angle bisector right here is going to be the same distance to this line as it is to this line. You see it? So when they're the same distance, what word? We used it yesterday. What's a geometry word we use to say two things are the same distance? Say it. Equidistant. Very good. All right, so that means that they're equidistant. I could put another point. Watch. Let's put another point. It's going to take too long. But you get the idea. I don't need to put another point here just because of time. But if that point was down here, it's still the same distance to here as to here. You with me on that? All right. When we talk about the distance between it, we're talking about the perpendicular distance, okay? It's perpendicular. So I drew that specifically so it's perpendicular. So tomorrow, what we're going to do, we can skip this part tomorrow, and then we are going to see how that works in a triangle. So let's just do this. So what do you think we're going to do tomorrow? We're going to take this angle and do what to it? What do we do here? What do we do to this angle here? We bisect the angle, right? Okay, so we're going to bisect angle H. Then we're going to do what? Bisect angle G and bisect angle I. And guess what? Take a wild guess what they're going to do. They're going to all intersect each other, okay? And there's something special about that point of intersection, okay? What do you think is special about that point of intersection? They're the same distance to all the sides, okay? So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. All right, so be ready for that.